In this video, we're going to talk about why I think Google Slides is the best option for a Hyperdoc. Teachers have long used Word documents or Google Docs in order to guide students to various internet or other resources, and I think Google Slides actually does a better job, and that's what we're going to look at in this video. We can look at some examples real quick before you decide if you want to watch the rest of this video, and then we'll go through the top 5 reasons I think that using Google Slides is a better choice than Google Docs to create Hyperdocs. Here's an example Hyperdoc that I created for students using Google Slides, where we were looking at the probability of human blood types using Punnett squares. And as you can see here, there's a list of links that the students can use to get through various examples and problems they had to solve. Some information for the students. So in the background, here's the grading information on how I would score their work, and an example on how to complete the task. And as you go through, you can actually see how students can complete the task. They have to type in where they see the red circles, and that was in the instruction, and they have to fill out the table here for their analysis. And I also have the ability to share this with them through Google Classroom and then give them their feedback. Here's another example of a Hyperdoc that I created for students. Again, an index of all the things they had to do. An introduction for them. It's a video that they can watch. I made sure that they knew what to do in each section. I also put in the presenter notes a little section here for them to remind them what they need to get done. This is sort of a case study. So the students went through, and there was things as they were learning things to make selections here. So they would put their selections, and I always try making sure when I create an area for students to submit information, I make a table and I make it so that they know exactly where they're going to type their information. So an area here for an extended response so that I can see what they're thinking, and I make sure that they have, of course, a scoring rubric so they know how they're going to get their points. And here's a third example. This is a project I had the students do. They were going to make a family tree of Martians, misspelled correctly because they are marshmallow Martians. So I give them some introduction, basically as a video for them to watch to figure out how to do this project, some background, going through the process and how they do it. And this would have taken them a week during a regular school week. They were at a distance when they did this. So basically we introduced the concept of genetics, and they did similar tasks, and then they had to do this as a culminating activity. And I gave them clip art in order to start making their marshmallow Martians, and they were encouraged to go out and find their own parts on the internet that were animated GIFs to create their own products. As you can see, there's all the information is along the side here for the students in the project. So that's really helpful to put all this in one place so the students don't have to keep going from document to document. It's all in one place, and it includes a place for them to turn in their pedigree. So their final project will be put here as well. So let's look at those 5 reasons why I think this is one of the best ways to get information to students through a Hyperdoc. All right, so I think the first one is Google Slides is universal. There's probably not a student in secondary education that hasn't used Google Slides, so they're very used to using this program. It's part of the Google Apps for Education, so I think it's pretty understood how they can use it. Another reason why I think these are the best kinds of ways to convey information to students as a Hyperdoc is that you can easily add text to make it fit the way you want. Images and audio and video can be embedded, so as students are working through a task, they can definitely do this much easier than in a particular Word doc. Word docs are really limited on what you can do, and you can't embed videos or audio very easily. So I think this is the best use of a Hyperdoc is a Google Slide for those texts and those pieces of information that include audio and video. Of course, links to the internet as well. Tables for students, as I showed in my examples, right? You can make a table for a student that's relatively easy. It's not as easy to make a table in Docs. It's definitely not as easy as in Microsoft Word. So using Google Slides, you can easily make a table that students can show their responses and use it as your assessment. As we saw in my example, this would be a great way to capture the student's work. If you have a dedicated slide in the deck of slides for the students to submit their work, it'll be there all in one place. So the instructions, the rubric, and the student's work will be in there for you to grade, and it's easy. They only have one file they have to worry about when they go and turn in their assignment. And the last one, I think it's great because it has great integration to Google Classroom. Whenever you create the master set of slides and information, you set it up in Google Classroom as a make a copy for each student. And every student will have a copy of the instructions, every copy of the rubric, and a place to turn it in all in one file. They don't have to worry about one file to turn into you. And with some of these bigger projects, that might be really helpful. So that's the reason why I think that Google Slides is the best way to get information to students through a Hyperdoc. If you check out the description below, you'll find a link to the Quick Start Guide, which will give you links to the examples that I showed at the beginning of the video. It'll also give you some more details on the ways that you can use this idea.